Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's fine and dandy on this Thursday, the 29th of June. Haven't been on the live across all the platforms for a couple of weeks because I've been out fishing and we've been doing lives directly from the bank. Another time we couldn't get the live link properly, so I think this is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that we've actually been across all the platforms live for a couple of weeks. Hope everyone's well. At least the weather's a little bit more manageable than it was. I mean, last weekend I was at the MND charity do that was organised by Oz Holness for Pull Forward, another Kent guy from down this way who sadly passed away a few months back with the MND, motor neuron disease. Absolutely brilliant time all weekend. Paul would have absolutely loved it. He would have been the life and soul. It was as sunny could be. 34 degrees, as you can see. One day, one bit tanned up. Fantastic. I hate to think how many hundreds of fish were caught. Up from singles all the way up to 40 pounders. Loads of food, loads of banter, meeting loads of friends I haven't seen for ages, and all the guys that had paid £400 each to come and fish with us for the weekend. It was an absolute pleasure to be there. I can't wait for the new for next year. Tonight we're going to talk about, first of all, about floater fishing. That's what I was doing most of the fish. We had 42 fish, me and Mike Sumner, in our peg on Bracenos 2. Most of them were off the top. We didn't fish the nights. We only fished the days, and most of them were off the top because of the weather. So I'm going to have a little talk to you about my little setup, what I use, my hook baits, my rigs, the colours of hook baits, which I think makes a difference. Then see what you use for your floater fishing, so we can sort of cross them over. Couple of announcements to make. The Sandhurst Social, which is on the 9th to the 11th, with the hog roast, the goodie bags, myself and Jamie Bellas from Nash Consultant. It's fully booked now. Absolutely fully booked. Can't wait for that. It's only Sunday week before we are there fishing for those 2 nights, those 40 hours. I can't wait to see you guys. A lot of you guys are actually booked on, are on here tonight, so that'd be great. We have a couple of spaces left on the Norton Disney Social, which is on between the weekend 21st to the 23rd of July. We've got a couple of spaces left. Again, we've got a massive hog roast going on. Enough hog roast for 50 people, even though there's only going to be about 20 of us. You've got myself and Jamie walking around, helping you with your fishing, having a social, few beers, a great 48 hours, exclusive lake booking, Norton Disney, Turner's Lake. Fish up to over £40 in there. So if that's some of you and you fancy a bit of that, then send me a message on Instagram, Facebook, wherever it is, and we'll see if we can get you booked in. As I say, there's only a couple of spaces left of that. Sandhurst is fully booked out. Right, now we've done all that, let's have a little look at what's been going on. Oh yes, another thing I've got to say, we've got a new carp dog. Well, not so much a carp dog. She, remember our pork chop was a boy, and we haven't, about 3-4 years ago that he passed away, sadly. It's taken really till now to get over it. Still not really over it, so the new dog, which is 10 weeks old Sunday, I think. There's another Jack, but it's a girl Jack, this one, called Dottie. So I may go and get her and give you a little look at her in a little while when we go over to the Catch More Carp members group. Don't forget, guys, if you like these type of things, you like the vibe from this, you can always join us on a full-time basis with a monthly or annual subscription to the Catch More Carp website. Just get yourself over to www.catchmorecarp.co.uk, sign up, and you'll be having a video every week. You're having a live stream every week, discounts on your fishing, your bait, everything, and lots of other stuff going on as well. So who have we got in the house tonight? Louis, Carp Fishing, evening to you, mate. Hope you're well. Nigel, evening to you as well. Hope you're well. Kevin, good to see you, mate. Good to see you as well. All these regulars. John Adams as well. Look, Dave Prime, who's coming on the Sandhurst gig. The social, can't wait to see you, mate. Anthony here, be at the Sandhurst gig as well. Even all you lovely people. And Julia will be at the Sandhurst gig. Evening to you, Julia. Hope you're well. Evening, Rich. Hope you're well as well, mate. Thanks for tuning in. Guys, don't be afraid to put down to say hello, where you're coming from, where you're signing in from. Be nice to see where everyone is in the country or other countries. Got quite a few people who are like Africa, South Africa, America, Canada. We have people from all over the world on here. Let us know where you are signing in from, what country, what area, what county, what town. Also, if you've got any questions, ask the questions now. I will do my best to help you as best I can. Plus, you'll get other people who are tuning in, giving you some of their ideas about your question and question the queries as well, helping out. That's what this community is about, helping each other out this Thursday night with your carp fishing questions and queries. Another guy, Phil, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. There's Terry. Evening, everyone. Off fishing tomorrow, 40 hours. Lovely. Suffolk Walk Park. Good way to avoid bream, please, Leo. 24mm hook baits, double 18s. One thing, good way to avoid bream. One, don't fish for them. I tend to, over the years when I fish for bream, there's a couple of things that I do. One, don't use any particles. So don't use pellet. Don't use maize. Don't use sweet corn. Don't use party blend. Don't use hemp. Bream absolutely love all of that and more. They love it. Boilie crumb, all that sort of stuff. Those liquids and that, they just home in on that like you wouldn't believe. I tend to just go with a boilie only approach. Big boilies as well. If I'm fishing a lake with lots of big bream in it, I cut out all that other stuff. I just fish boilie. Usually not too much boilie as well. I rely on locating the carp rather than drawing them in like I do on other lakes with bait. Fish 2 double 18s or a 24mm. I tend not to fish them topped with like strong, sweet smelling pop-ups. I don't tend to fish the old snowman and things like that, or pop-ups. I tend to fish I do fish the pop-ups like the hinge stiffy rig. I haven't caught many bream on that over the years, the hinge stiff rig. They can't deal with it very well. So that, and just use boilies. That's what I could say for you, Terry. Give that a go, mate. But cut out all them particles, all the hemp, all the liquids, all that sort of stuff, which draws them in, especially not hemp or pellet, and sweet corn. Bloody hell, they'll be all over you. Stuart Stephen Leo, good fish on video. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate. I mean, guys, did you like the 2 last videos about the French, how much bait to take, what bait to take to France as well, how to feed over that week? In that video, I think it's the first or second video, I actually talk about how I approach how much bait I'm going to put in, how much bait I take with me on every French trip I've ever been, and how I feed initially on those commercial lakes. What I do for the first 24, 48 hours, what bait I use, and how the amounts that I feed. So if you haven't seen the video yet, go and check it out. If you're a member, if you're not, sign up and watch it. Evening, Darren. Good to see you, mate. Haven't been around for a while, have you? Good to see you, though, mate. Evening, Leon. Even all, been a bloody long time, but it's good to be back. Hope everyone has been keeping well. Very well, thank you, mate. Very well. Evening, you, Steph, as well. Good to see you. Adam says, just a new pork chop. Oh, we might have to go and get her in a minute. I might get her to bring her up so you can have a little look at her. Stuart said, does the salt you put in mix still work when you put hot sauces in? Yes, I mean, the salt is going to be the salt. It's as simple as that. Doesn't matter what sort of sauces you put in and bits and pieces of liquids, your salt's always going to be your salt. Evening, Ronnie. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Good evening, Baz. Another thing, guys, as a member of the Catch More Carp, we've got plenty of members already tonight, but if you're not a member, one of the benefits is you get a discount. The Keen Angler, you get a 10% online discount if you're buying a BV, hooks, bait, whatever you'll get a 10% discount. You get plenty of other discounts. J Precision hooks, CC Moore, you get a 10% discount when you order off there online. Carp Particles, I think it's a 20% discount. I mean, there's loads of really good discounts on now. Hi, John. Hope you're well, mate. Good to see you. Evening, everybody. Evening, Chris. When new things coming out, well, Sunday we've got another video. We've got a technical video about a rig that, lots of people these days, they use pop-ups. I've used pop-ups for years and that. And I think we're missing a trick by not using bottom baits. Fresh out the bag or like a hardened hook bait type of thing. This rig that I've used on and off for years, really, it's nothing new, but it really does work. It's something different to your normal pop-up, your normal Ronnie. It's a bottom bait, and it turns and twists very, very quick. So I've got a how-to, my thoughts behind it, components to use, why it works so well, and a step-by-step of how to tie this rig. You know, it flips so well. So we've got that coming out Sunday. Evening, Roger. Evening, I hope you're okay. Very well, thank you. Lovely puppy, Stuart says. Yeah. Dave says, Leo, can I mix both coatings of tuna and live together? 100%. I do it all the time. Pacific tuna, more of a fish meal orientated bait. Live sister, more of a creamy sort of bird food. Definitely mix them together. Keep the fish thinking. Use 2 different hook baits, whatever's working better on the day, or whatever the fish like on the day, which is quite important. Always mix them up. Always mix my baits up. I don't just fish one bait. Like at the moment, I'm using the new Pro Stim, the test bait from CC Moore, but I'm mixing in Triple X. I'm mixing in tuna, depending where I'm fishing. I'll be mixing in live system as it gets colder in the autumn and winter time. I'll be using both together. So yes, a definite something which you can imagine they probably see quite a bit anyway, because different baits are going in different swims and things like that. So a fresh bait might be a bit of a like wall, but 2 or 3 different types of bait in there at once. Oh well, yeah, this might be a bit safer. So yeah, it works. It does work. So yeah, Dave, don't be afraid to. Evening, Dave. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Adam says, no, the feeling. Lost my best mate, 2015. How was Sean the Chef's cake? Absolutely lovely, Adam. Tell you what, guys, if you're looking for some sickly, lovely cakes, big, stodgy, sort of like Nutella brownies and all that type of stuff, go and check out Sean the Chef. Online, does some absolutely awesome cakes as well. They will put a bit on the old tummy, though, I'm afraid, because they're very, very sugary and they're just lovely. They're very lovely. If you like that type of thing, go and check out Sean the Chef cakes. So let us know where you come from, and also let me also, have you got a carp dog or a dog? What dog have you got? What breed and the name? I want to know that as well. We've called ours Dotty, but she's got a big black dot on top of her head, Jack Russell. So yeah, be interesting to see how she grows up. A little different to Pork Chop was, I reckon. Evening, Leon the fan. Evening, Nick. Good to see you, mate. Stuart said, very good night, Leon. Very good to you. South East London, Nick says. Leon Peacock. Love. Good name, Leon. I like you already. When it was on Turners at the weekend, some lovely fishing there. Some real nice fish. I think it's about 900 fishing now. I fished it once myself in the summer. And there's, you know, I think we had about 4, 5, 6, 7 fish out there for a video for CC Moore. But we've got a lake exclusive for it. So it'll only be us there. We've still got 2 or 3 spaces left. Turner's really nice, Norton Disney. I wanted to have one social where you have something to cater for the people from the north, something to cater for the people from the south. So we had Sanders for the south, Turner's, Norton Disney, more for the northern type of guys. We're going to be doing a lot more of these social events over the next couple of years. We've got one already planned for Sanders next year, which after we've done these 2, I'm going to put those details out. So look out for them, guys. But we have got a couple of spaces left on the Turner's one. So, yeah, it's a lovely place, Leon, isn't it, mate? Philip said, watching from Buxton. Fair play. Swindon, but from Newcastle. Evening Matthew, hope you're well. Leon from Hull, East Yorkshire. I've been to Hull. Godothin Gaming. Well, looking to catch my first River 20 of pre-baited spots. Anything I can do to make it more effective? I think you're doing the best thing. What I know from fishing rivers, and I haven't fished very many ever, fished canals when I went to Belgium, but I fished rivers as a match fisherman, and I know a lot of guys who do fish the rivers. One, it's location, but because the river, they could be anywhere in the river, constant, effective pre-baiting is the one. That is definitely what will stand you in good stead on the rivers, on the canals. If you're going to fish them regularly, pre-baiting, a couple of days before you go down, bang in 5 kilo of maize or whatever it is, you know, cheap and cheerful in there. So I think you're doing the right thing when you're saying that you're pre-baiting the spots. I'd love to know. Let us know how you get on with catching a River 20. I'd love to see it. Right, there's one of our expats over at Ronnie Foster. Hi all from a cold South Africa. Wish it was cold in here. I've got the, if you can hear in the background, I've got a fan on because I'm so bloody hot. Even though I've got brew on the go. So bloody hot in here in my office that I've had to put the fan on. Okay, so let us talk about what the subject of this, subject of this live is, floater fishing. I did some floater fishing last week. I love floater fishing. It's one of the most intense, sort of addictive fishing you can do. And I don't know why more people don't do it, I suppose. But it's quite easy fishing as well. When it sun's up, the fish are up in the water, aren't they? My kit that I use a through action rod. So what does that mean? I've got a 2 3/4 12-foot rod. I don't even know who makes it. It might even be ESP or something. I've had it about 20 years. Very through action. You know, so it's not a stiff action. Oh, it's my nose. It's not a stiff action where it's like, boom, you bounce something. It takes, when you strike or you're playing fish on light hook links, you're going to get all that give in it. It's a good through action, progressive action. It's quite a floppy rod, I suppose you could say. Got a small size reel on there. I think it's a Fox 10,000 or something like that, with a bait runner on the back. It might even be a Shimano bait runner, I think. 12-pound line on. I think it's Fox. Let me just put this back on, because otherwise I'm going to get too hot. Yeah, I think I've got 12-pound soft steel or something. I mean, it's been on there about 8 years, I think. I've never changed it. I've never had the need to. God, no, I should though. When I start snapping up my fish, that's when I'm going to change it. Down to one of those big sort of Nash white sub sort of floats there. I'm not sub float, they're like a big floater fishing float. I think TF Gear used to do them, or still do them as well. A few different people, like a Missile it is. I think Calder may do something similar as well. I use one of those. You can get me about 60 to 80 yards with it. I don't know how many grams it is, I'm not sure. But I was amazed to see some of the people I was fishing with, they were using these great big ones. Like, bloody hell, massive. The one I'm using is only small. I still get about 60 to 80 yards with it. As for hook links and baits and all that type of stuff, I use to start off with, I will use a 12-pound double strength. I've always used double strength. I really rate it as a floater fishing line. If you've got snags and a bit of weed like you have in most lakes this time of year, go for the 12-pound. Add that as your starting gambit. 12-pound double strength, strong as anything, gives a lot. And I've only lost a few fish through snapping when the fish is going. You can't stop them, or they're in a weed bed and you're just holding it and ding, it gets cut off. Most of the time, you can give it from butt to tip if you're using the right equipment, and you're just the surges. So those fish are full of oxygen and life after they've spawned, after they've had a good rest. 12-pound double strength. I do go down to 10 or even 8. If you've got a lake which has got nothing in it, no snags, no weed, nothing at all, then you can go down to an 8, 10 or 8 double strength. Definitely by stepping down, you will get more bites. But by staying at 12, I'm landing 90% of everything I hook when I'm floater fishing. That's about a 6 foot length. I like about 5 to 6 foot, which is my arm span, which is 5'8". Whatever your arm span is, that's your height. If you didn't know that already. I use to start off with, I use a size 8 on a hair. So as if you're tying a hair, I just tied the hook like a hair with a no knot. So I've got about ½ an inch gap between my hook bait and the bend of the hook. Now a lot of people go, bloody hell, what, you use a hair on your floater fishing? Yep, I do. A lot of people, they will use the hook bait, they cut a little ridge out of your hook bait, like your bit of cork or your hook, your floating pop up, and you'll super glue the hook in there so it's sitting up or it's underneath and all that. I don't do any of that old messing around. Does work, don't get me wrong. It's a very good way and it works just as well. I like to just tie, staves all that messing around. I just do like a hair rig. It's just like a hair rig. So I have about ½ an inch hair to the hook bait. Size 8 hook. I do use, to be fair, I use the Calder Kamakatsus, are they? I use those for my floater fishing and my zig fishing because they're just super smart and sharp. They're perfect for that. I couldn't use them for everything because I couldn't bloody afford to buy them. But you know, for things like your float fishing and things like that, where you're using the weight of that float to hook the fish half the time before you even strike, and a real sharp hook, you're not missing many chances. Put it that way, even if you're not looking. Hook baits. Now, you can use lots of different hook baits out there. What I use the Sissimo Duos for if you want a big hook bait. But most of the time, I'm going to use a 6mm, yes, 6mm Northern Special Minis. The reason why I use a Northern Special Mini, not only because I'm sponsored by them, but because there's so many different colours. And I like, if I'm not getting bites, I'll say a black one. They're out there and they're feeding around it. You're thinking, I should have had a bite out there. I should have gone for it. I'll swap over to a white one or a washed out pink. Washed out pink seemed to be the one that caught me all the fish at the weekend at Linear, Brasenose 2. Tried yellow, I tried white, I tried black, I tried full on pink, you know, bright pink. Not really the one. The washed out pink, that was the one that was getting me all the bites. So if you've got a little pot of those, that's all you need. You need for about 10 years worth of fishing. A little pot of those, Northern Special Minis. You've got all different colours that you can use. When the clouds went in, I'd swap around, I'd do this, I'd do that. You know, being proactive with your floater fishing definitely puts more fish on the bank for you. As for bait, as for freebies, as for how much to put in, I use a mix of like 6mm floating pellets and like 10mm dog biscuits. So I mix them all together. So you've got 2 different sizes or 3 or 4 different sizes if you want to go. And then I pour on as much oil as I can onto them, which they'll take in. Now you can use salmon oil, a very, very good one. Sticky do a nice oil as well that you can use. I think it's, I can't remember the name of it, it's called. You could use hemp oil. You could use cooking fat. You could use whatever you bloody want. It gives you helps you in 2 ways with your floaters, okay? One, if you've got a bit of a chop on, that oil will dissipate on the area and you'll be able to see, and the fish will be able to see, your hook bait. So that's one of the benefits of using like a pink hook bait with a pink float stop on there. You can see it with your Polaroids on. You can see it. You can see it out. You can see, well, that's my one in amongst all the others. Stands out slightly. Even though it's only small, you can see it if you've tipped it and you know you got the colours right. And it dissipates and it flattens off so it's not moving about so much. The fish got more chance to see it and go for it, I found. Plus, fish love oils and that. You know, they're sucking in all those other floaters, they're getting all them oils, and it's like, lovely. They start going crazy. So that's what I do. I use a spom and I use an elastic, you know, catapult elastic to get the bigger baits out. 2 or 3 spoms, wait till the fish start coming up and taking them. Boom. Then I cast over with my floater rod and I drag it back in nicely onto the area, which is flattened off with the oils and all the freebies out there. And you're away and you're gone. A lot of the time, it's such an intense thing. You might look around the float, but you're using a heavy float. It's going to take, when a fish takes on that 6-foot hook length, normally it hooks itself, especially with a really sharp hook. So that's how I go about my floater fishing. Very intense, very enjoyable, very on the edge of your seat because they're all sucking around and it's like hearts in your mouth and, well, there's one and you get one or you pull out of it or, you know, it's a lovely way of float fishing. So guys, ladies as well, let me know your kit that you use floating. Anything you do different to me in hook baits, colours, you know, line. What do you use? What size hooks you use? I might go down to size 10 if the fish are becoming particularly snaggy, you know, particularly difficult to catch, and drop down to 10-pound double strength. What do you do? What hook lengths? What hooks you use? You know, let us know what you do. But so that's the essence of my floater fishing. Stuart says it's 9 weeks to France. He's going on his first French trip. Can't wait to see what you think of it, mate. You're going to have a great time. I will be sending you a couple of rigs to try as well. Philip says, who will be on the Sandhurst social. What other fish are in Sandhurst? There's the odd tench, the odd bream, but not really. I haven't really caught many, to be fair. There's the odd one, but you don't really get bothered by them, that's for certain. Nick said, what's the best rig I've ever used? The one that catches me the fish. I have loads of rigs in my armoury, and I wouldn't say one rig has been substantially better than the other. Hinge Stiffy, multi-rig, D-rig, they've all caught me fish from wherever I've gone. But I've used them for a specific reason. So I can't say one rig has been better than the other. I mean, it must have been on that specific lake. The rig I used on the A specific lake must have been They must have liked it a lot better because I caught a lot more fish. But I'm not one of these anglers who, right, I just use that rig, I just use that rig. I use a rig, I might have 3 rigs on because I'm fishing 3 different spots. I might have the Zig on, I might have a D rig or a bottom bait rig on a really hard, clean spot. And then I might have a like a hinge stiffy in amongst the weed on a spot. You know, a smooth, harder spot. It all depends on the lake I'm fishing, the rig, the spot I'm fishing. So, you know, to me, there is no best rig. The best rig is the one that catches you your next fish. Hi, Andy. Good to see you, mate. Evening, in the community. Paul White says, evening, everyone. Matthews, have you used my discount code to Keen Angler? Great service. Yes. I mean, look, loads of you guys, you get 10% off online, which in today's, you're earning that little bit of extra. It should, if you're like me, I order every bloody month a bit of kit or this, bit of that, or bit of something or some more, or something. Even though I'm sponsored by companies, I get stuff for free or for cheaper. I still use it online. Keen Angler. You're going to get what you pay for a month, $4.99 or £4, I think, if you do an annual a month. You're going to make that back on the discounts from using all the discounts, aren't you? So, bit of a no-brainer. Nustus Grobler, love the name. Evening, Carp mates from a cold South Africa. Evening to you, sir. Hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in. John says, we've got Charlie, a huge golden retriever. Can't take him fishing, won't keep him out of the water. That's what golden retrievers are like, aren't they? Oh, yes. Dan W. Hi, Leon from Romford. Got cockapoo called Boise. Love it. Loves going fishing. I bet he does, bless him. Dave said, Mildenhall, but sorry, no dogs. Both Julie and myself work full-time and won't be fair on the dog. No, fair play to you, Dave. Mark says, Norfolk, but originally Dartford. 5-month-old cockapoo called Nola. Nutty as you like. Yeah. Richard had a Sprocker Spaniel in December from a rescue named Rio. Fair play. Philip said, I've been having good results on paste draped around a wafter. Yes. I mean, when you think about it, Philip, paste is the ultimate hook bait, really, isn't it? Because it's giving out so much more. That's why I like putting on liquids and powders onto my hook baits and my freebies. Because it's giving it all out into the water column. People say, oh, yeah, but it washes off. But that's what you want it to do. You want it to go into the water column. The fish find it from the water column. They go, oh, right, that's something. That, you know, cross their lateral line. They ingest it. Right, there's something in this area. You attract them in. Bit of paste is kicking out, isn't it? It's kicking out all that goodness all the time. More water ingested, it's breaking down, kicking out goodness. So, you know, a little trick, a little tip with your hook baits, definitely coat them in paste if you can. It's a definite edge. Unless you're fishing with loads of bream and tension apples, they will be on it quicker than bloody anything, and you'll be getting mugged off by them all the time. Andy says, from Teesside with a mad staffy called Sky. She loves to walk around the local lake. Fair play. Lee Cordingley. Hi, Leon. I hope you're well, mate. Very good. Was great floater weekend at Linear. Was a brilliant, wasn't it, Lee? Really was, mate. Was really good at the weekend. And well done on your fish, mate. New PB. Richard, Bolt Machine. That's the one I was looking for, Rich. Bolt Machine. Lee Cordingley, as Andy mate called them, ostrich eggs. Yep. Derek says, evening, all from Maidstone in Kent, round the corner from me. Our dog is called Benji, and he's a cross between a chinchilla and a terrier. I can see him, little picture there, bless him. Philip says, controller throw. The Keen Angler, there he is, look, the Keen Angler, the very people we're talking about. Look, even though I have a funny feeling I hear Drenner are discontinued 12-pound double strength as they just launched their ESP Synchro Surface line. Wow. I think we may be buying up loads of the 12-pound then, I think. I hope it's as good as the 12-pound one. I'm going to be buying up 3 or 4, 5 or 10 of them spools because it works, doesn't it? It definitely works. Thanks, guys, for letting us know from the Keen Angler. These are the guys that you get your discount from if you're a member. And it's cap oil from Sticky. That's the one. That's good to put in your floaters as well. Cheers, mate. Grand Parks, I always love floater fishing. The most I've had in a day is 27 fish. Wow. That's absolutely mind-blowing crazy, isn't it? But I know what you mean. It's addictive. Hi, Nick. Good to see you, mate. Always, guys. Bloody hell. And Amir, Broke down the M6 in live lane. Police had to shut the lane down. Bloody hell, I hope you're all right. Took the services, waited 3.5 hours. Just got picked up. Heading back to Preton, be home. 21:30. Oh mate, I feel for you. I've had it. I've broken down. It's taken me all night. I've had to get people, relatives, come pick me up and drive me back. I've had RAC years ago. So yeah, I feel for you, mate. I really do. Hopefully you'll be all right. Anyway, at least you got us to listen to on the way home. Hemport and Strawberry Angel Delight with an old school bubble float, proper surface hunting. Sounds good to me. Baz Beardy Carp pull up. What is your all-time favourite biscuit? It's got to be custard cream. Got to be. Straight off the top of my head. Got to be custard cream, Baz. Got to be custard cream. Rich Brown says, I use the Enterprise plastic mixers or 12mm pop-ups in a range of colours, all side hooks. Try it. Give it a little go, Rich, using it as a hair rig. Just give it a go. A couple of trips. See what you think of it. Baz says, sometimes floater fishing to not alert birds is put a handful of floaters in a PVA sock with stone, catch it out, sinks first, and they all come up. Works sometimes. Yes, also feeding them off in the margins works. Rogers had a staffy called Dennis for company. I like that. Staffy, Dennis the Staffy. And he says, Old Grey's X-Fly and a Shimano 10,000 XTE Fox Zig and floater line with a Nash Claw floater hook, size 8, with a fake soaked mixer. Yeah, that's a good one as well. Terry said British Bulldog called Bert. Love that, Bert. Baz said I had a boxer called Boo that was mental. I had to tie her to a tree as when I spotted she was in after it. When I retire, I'm getting a French Bulldog. Fair play. Yeah, does anyone use braided mainline for their floater fishing? I know a few people who do as well. And they swear by it, the old braided mainline. You're doing it in direct axis, aren't you? But I would say only if you've got a progressive action rod, 2 3/4, £3, that's very floppy, very giving. Yeah, that's what I would say with the old. I must try the old floating braid, actually. A couple of people have told me that could be good. Can you do me the code for members for discounts, please? The code for members for all the discounts, we have a page on the website called discounts, and on there's about 20 different companies that if you're a CMC member, the code is there. All you need to do is put it in at checkout and you'll get the discount, Martin. Sorry, Dave. Go and check it out, mate. Get onto www.catchmallcarp and it'll be discounts. Go and have a look. Mark says, question please, what's the best distance for 2 rigs in one swim? What's the best distance for 2 rigs in one swim? If you speak to Tom Maker, it's about 1 inch. He likes to have all 3 within inches. Bless him. Me, I would say I want a bit of gap between the 2. 2 or even 3 on the one spot. 2 rigs are the best distance. I mean, if you're fishing on one spot, or you're saying in one swim, best distance. Wherever the spots are you're fishing. I mean, you could have 2 in one area. You could have one to the right, one to the left, couldn't you? It depends on where you're fishing. I would say you can never be too close. You can never be too far away. As long as the spots you're fishing with 2, 3 or 4 rods, you're going to get bites and they're producing. I hope that helps. I'm not sure if it does or not. If you get any more questions, guys, because we're about to go over to just the subscribers, the Catch More subscribers on the closed Facebook group. We're just about in the next 5 minutes. I'm going to go over, just carry them with me, and all the other YouTube and all that will be closing. So you got your questions, get them in now. We've got 4 or 5 minutes to answer them. Richard, Brady Mainline is a game changer for floater fishing. Convert so many more bites. Yes, I've been told this. I must try it. I must try it out, that's for certain. Danny Johnson, evening mate, hope you're well. Danny will be coming to our Norton Disney Turners Lake Social 21st to the 23rd of July. Guys, if you want to get on it, send me a message on my Instagram, my Facebook, and we'll get you booked in. There's 2 or 3 spots left. As Danny says, evening all, not long now until Norton Disney now. Cannot wait. I can't wait to see you all, guys. I really can't. And at Sandhurst. Bit of floating crust. That's a lovely tactic. I caught my first carp, my first proper carp, on a bit of floating crust in the pads from Noak Hill in Essex, near Romford, that is, when I fished there. Oh, that's not the one. Rich says, Nass Sigfro mainline if Brady's not allowed. Good recommendation. Stuart said, when new CCM clothing coming out? We've got the original. We've still got some T-shirts, some Catch More Carp T-shirts in different sizes on the shop. So if you're looking for a T-shirt for the hot weather, really good quality. Don't wash out. The logo still stays there. Go and have a look on the shop. We've got some T-shirts there. Hoodies, I've had a couple of test ones through. They're just not up to standard. They really aren't up to standard, the hoodies. So I haven't progressed with that yet. I'm still looking for a decent one. Baz said, thanks for sorting the CC More code out for me. Then they refreshed it pretty quick after you messaged me. Yeah, I messaged them. Guys, you get a 10% discount for being a member of Catch More Carp with CC More. If you order online with them, you're going to get a 10% discount if you're a monthly or an annual subscriber. And if you order a lot of bait or just some bait, it's going to pay for your subscription, isn't it? And you're going to get all the videos, all the other discounts, live streams, everything. Paul says, I use the Drenham double strength. Always got 8, 10 or 12 pound. Use same for zigs. Yep, so do I. I use the 12 pound for zigs. I've had a good week on a river carp. On river carp, £26.15. Lovely. Carp are hard to find in the river. If the pads and snags will float on the river, they're very hard to find in the river, Paul, aren't they? Pellet small for PVA bags and 4 and 8mm pellet. A few boilies, but loads of boilie crumb. Glug boilies left dry, then blend it up. There you go. Fair play, Paul. Thanks for your advice, mate. Very much appreciated. Terry said, we're doing draws for Pegs. Oh, yes, what we do is on our socials, Sandhurst and for the Norton Disney one, we will all be there for 12 o'clock, midday, 11 or 12 o'clock. We'll all meet. We'll have a walk around of the swims. I'll talk about the swims and the boundaries and what's in there and what, you know, if there's any spots that I know of or any of us know of. Then we will have a draw. So if you come out first with a ping pong ball, number 1, you will go off and you will say, right, I want to fish, swim 15 or swim 1. Or if it's near the car park, whatever, swim 3, whatever your premise is. So it's all done on the draw, you know, all done on the draw. And he said, with the weed cutting on Sandhurst, will this turn the fish off for a bit or make them more active? Well, they got cut about 2 or 3 weeks ago, so it should have all calmed down by now, I would have thought. All the swims should have calmed down, all the spots should be there to fish for. I just think it's going to fish really well, I really do. I think it's going to be good. Steve said, have you ever been a fan of Pelican in baits, Leon? Yes, I like liquid Pelican, or you can get the what is it, the little, the blocks of Pelican, which you can shave off and you mix it up and that. Yeah, it's a very good sort of fish protein that fish are attracted to. Having some great success with it in spices this year. I could definitely, Steve, it's another very good thing to have in your armoury. Kevin has a standard snorzer called Tilly. Fair play. Let me just free up some memory there. Rich Brown used to use double strength for years till having a bad batch switched over to the Fox one out. Wow. I've never heard of that, Rich, of there being a bad batch of double strength. I've never had anything but good stuff with it. Right, guys, 40 minutes we're in. We're going to say goodbye now to YouTube, to my Facebook page, and to the Catch More Carp Facebook page. And we are going to continue with this live stream, discuss and banter, question and answer over on the Catch More Carp Facebook members group. The only way you get in the Facebook members group, Catch More Carp, is to be an annual or a monthly subscriber. So if you want to do that ready for the next live that we go, guys, or you want to see all the videos, things like that, get yourself over to catchmorecarp.co.uk, sign up, and then we won't have to say goodbye to you. So we are saying goodbye now to everyone on the Catch More Carp Facebook page. Let's say thanks for calling in, and we will see you next week. And on my Facebook page, thanks guys for tuning in, and we will see you next week. And on Leon Bartropp Carper, my YouTube channel, which we are live on as well. Thanks guys, much appreciated for tuning in, and we'll hopefully see you next